Let's now go to Madison Square Garden to go inside out with SNY NBA insider Ian Begley. And Ian, let's start with the end. First of all, I can't remember the last time I saw a 5-second call in the NBA, so they forced that turnover. Then the Spurs don't even get a shot off in the time in the final seconds. So, Ian, how much credit do you give the defense for this win?
A ton of credit, Eamon. You talked about that final play, not getting a shot off. I thought Quentin Grimes did really well to come out and contest on Keldon Johnson on what seemed like a tough play to defend out there. And you look at the last few minutes of this game, San Antonio, I think, was held without a field goal for the final 4 minutes. So the Knicks really clamped down. Thought Tom Thibodeau made some key substitutions late, particularly on that inbounds violation play. You got Deuce McBride in there. So the defense really clamped down, and Jalen Brunson delivered late. Solid win for the Knicks. You expect them to beat this Spurs team, but they struggled at the free throw line. It was a little hit and miss at the end, but they come away with the W.
You mentioned Jalen Brunson delivering late. On Tuesday's Sports Night, JJ and Sal debated who the MVP of the Knicks was, Brunson or Randall. Sal went Randall, but I think later on in this show we're going to realize he wants that vote back. Ian, how does Brunson have the ability to turn up his game in every clutch situation?
Yeah, it's something else, and it's one of the reasons I think the Knicks went so hard after him. They weren't worried about tampering. They weren't worried about going over $100 million to go out and get Brunson because they knew that he can calibrate for moments like this. He had missed a couple shots late in games at the Garden, missed a couple of free throws late in games at the Garden, but tonight hit every big shot for the Knicks, and he scored or assisted on the Knicks' final 5 field goals. So he was all over this fourth quarter for New York, and he's not going to pat himself on the back, but the way he came down twice late in the fourth quarter and created space with Keldon Johnson on him and knocked down a jump shot. This was a big night for Jalen Brunson, one of the reasons why the Knicks were aggressive in pursuing him this past offseason.
All right, quickly on this one, Ian, because we don't want to get hit with our own 5-second call, but the Knicks' depth is being tested with RJ Barrett out of the lineup. 4 players off the bench were outscored 61-21 by the Spurs subs. So how much longer can they go with such a thin rotation?
Well, 11-5 with this 9-man rotation, but you look at Obi Toppin, he's on his way back, and Tom Thibodeau didn't commit to who would be taken out of the rotation for Toppin or how he would change it, but he committed to playing Toppin. So this rotation, this 9-man rotation, RJ Barrett coming back, Obi Toppin coming back, Tom Thibodeau's going to have a couple decisions to make to fit Obi Toppin back in and get regular minutes for the forward, and it's not going to be easy because they've played well with this 9-man rotation of late.
Should be interesting to see how much energy Toppin can bring to this team after being out since December 7th. Knicks head to Toronto to face the Raptors on Thursday. Ian Begley, thanks for joining us from the Garden.